Welcome to The Explainer. I am so thrilled you're here today because we're tackling something that is literally a massive, tear your hair out kind of frustration in the modern creator economy. Seriously, imagine this. You were doing absolutely everything perfectly. You followed every single rule, read every single guide out there, and yet, crickets, zero growth. It's enough to make you want to take a hammer right to your monitor. But hey, before you do that, let's unpack exactly what's going on behind the scenes here and how we can actually fix it.
So, why do perfect channels fail? It's a burning question, isn't it? Let me paint a picture for you based on the source material we're looking at today. Picture a flawlessly executed finance channel. I mean, the lighting is crisp, the editing is buttery smooth, the titles are packed with all those strong, highly searched keywords. And the advice itself? Rock solid. But you look at the metrics, and the views are just inexplicably stuck. 200 views, maybe 500, sometimes even less. The quality is undeniably there, yet they're completely invisible. You can kind of feel the burnout just thinking about it, right?
Well, the reason for this massive stagnation is basically an invisible enemy. You see, this creator isn't competing against a handful of other channels. They aren't going head-to-head with 10 or even 50 people. They're competing against thousands. Literally thousands of identical creators operating in the exact same niche, talking about the exact same financial concepts, and using the exact same formats. And this quote brilliantly illustrates the core of the problem. The source notes, "It stops feeling like people, it starts feeling like products." Just think about your own viewing habits for a second. When you open your feed and see finance guy after finance guy after finance guy, you become completely blinded to the format. We totally filter out incredibly high-quality content simply because every single creator starts to look and sound exactly the same. It just becomes another face in an endless scrolling list. So, the crucial point is, the old rules of growth are officially outdated. Back in the old era, the golden rule was simple. Pick one hyper-specific niche, stay strictly in your lane, and never, ever deviate. And you know, that advice worked for a really long time. But the internet has evolved. Today, staying rigidly in one lane, it's become a trap. In the new era, the winning strategy is all about cross-pollination.
Which brings us to section 1, enter the hybrid niche.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the paradigm shift it shows. This is how you break that brutal cycle of oversaturation. You combine worlds that normally never, ever meet. Instead of doing what everyone else is doing, you take two completely disconnected ideas and you merge them into a totally new experience. Look at these deliberate pairings from the source. Finance and Minecraft, self-improvement and nature, history and cooking. If you're scratching your head for a second there, that is exactly the point. Every traditional rule says these things shouldn't mix. The Minecraft audience is supposed to be kids, right? And the finance audience just wants serious charts and graphs. But actually, scratch that, because these rule-breaking combinations are exactly what's winning right now. The reason this works is due to a fascinating psychological concept called pattern interruption. When someone is scrolling endlessly through their feed, totally expecting a traditional finance video, and instead, boom, they see Minecraft gameplay with a voiceover about real estate, their brain pauses. They think, wait, why is this Minecraft? That tiny split-second moment of confusion acts as a massive hook. It completely resets their brain, wakes them up from that scrolling zombie state, and practically compels them to click just to figure out what the heck is going on. Let's look at this through a highly effective analogy provided in the source material. Imagine a massive highway. The traditional niche is like the main lane of that highway. Hundreds of cars all packed tightly together, moving agonizingly slowly because of the bumper-to-bumper traffic. Now imagine one car pulling off and driving on a completely empty side road right next to it. That car is going to move infinitely faster. Not necessarily because the car is inherently better or faster, but simply because there is zero traffic in its way. The hybrid niche, that's your empty side road.
Moving on to section 2, the pineapple pizza effect. Which brings us to this really fascinating concept that explains why you shouldn't be afraid to veer off that crowded highway. It's all about why deliberate polarization is actually a massive strategic advantage for your content today. The source gives us this fantastic quote to chew on. Most channels are normal pizza, but hybrid niches are pineapple pizza. Think about the very first person who put fruit on a pizza. People probably thought they were absolutely insane. Even today, it alienates traditionalists who will swear up and down that it doesn't belong. But here's the magic. There are millions of people who absolutely love it, who order it every single week, and who will fiercely defend it in the comment sections. A hybrid niche operates the exact same way. Sure, it might turn off a few traditionalists, but it builds absolute superfans out of the people who crave that unique, specific flavor. That takes us to section 3, building meaningful combinations.
Now, a quick warning from the source, you can't just slap random video game footage behind a serious topic and expect to become a millionaire overnight. The combinations have to actually mean something. Let's break down exactly why the finance and Minecraft combination works on such a deep psychological level. Step 1, the audience that watched Minecraft years ago, well, they aren't kids anymore. They grew up. Step 2, they've developed very real adult interests now, like managing their money, building careers, and understanding finance. Step 3 is where the magic happens. By combining the two, you link the comforting nostalgia of their past with the pressing, important needs of their present. It just makes perfect sense to them. And there's another really cool layer to this, which is the exhaustion factor. Topics like finance or deep self-improvement, they require serious mental focus. Honestly, audiences get mentally exhausted looking at intense charts all day. And what's the ultimate end goal of wanting financial success anyway? It's a peaceful life, right? So by pairing serious financial advice with relaxing visuals, like say someone sitting by a campfire in nature or fishing on a calm lake, you provide a perfect psychological contrast. You're giving the viewer the intense information they want, wrapped right up in the relaxing visual break they desperately need.
Let's get practical in Section 4, executing the visual contrast.
Okay, let's dive into this. You might be sitting there thinking, okay, that sounds great, but I definitely do not have the budget to fly to some remote lake and film myself fishing while I talk about index funds. And the good news is you absolutely don't have to. The source outlines a workflow to execute this visual contrast and create these wild environments using AI tools, specifically one called Hickfield. It's impressively straightforward. Step 1, you simply upload a standard, simple photo of yourself to their dashboard. Step 2, you generate a highly realistic image of yourself placed in literally any environment you want, like a calming, misty forest. Step 3, you convert those generated images into cinematic video clips to use as your B-roll. Suddenly, you're delivering intense financial advice from a serene campsite and you never even had to leave your desk. No way, right?
Let's move to the next point and see how this really builds out your toolkit. Hickfield allows creators to rapidly generate unique attention-grabbing footage. Whether you need realistic environmental B-roll, 2D and 3D animations to illustrate a complex point, or even dynamic vibe motion graphics generated from just a few simple text prompts, the capability is right there at your fingertips. This completely empowers you to establish your hybrid niche visually at a speed that was quite literally impossible just a few short years ago. And this brings us to a harsh but very necessary reality check. Upgrading your camera quality is simply no longer a differentiator. For years, creators thought the ultimate answer to slow growth was buying a better lens, endlessly tweaking their lighting, or dropping cash on a brand new 4K camera. But here's the truth of the matter. Everyone else is doing that too. When everyone in your niche upgrades their quality, the difference between you and them completely shrinks. Raw, high-end production quality is now just the baseline expectation. It is no longer your competitive advantage.
The real advantage lies in your ability to think differently, to be the pineapple pizza in a world of plain cheese. The hybrid niche framework allows you to bypass all that saturated traffic entirely, combining deep psychological understanding with fresh, totally unexpected visual contexts. So I want to leave you with this provocative thought as we wrap up this explainer. Look at your own passions, look at your own expertise, and ask yourself, what two completely unexpected worlds will you collide to finally leave that crowded highway behind?